Welcome to Jump Shots from the Goal Line. I'm your host, Jonathan Dugan. I am joined, as always, by my wonderful co host, Mr. John Henningsen. And we have a special guest today. We have the bot himself, Mr. Matt Hesse. Welcome to the show, Hesse. How's it going, dude?
Pretty good. How about you?
I'm good, dude. We are actually doing this in video. So if you like hear us being just way too silly or just losing our shit, because I've already done it even in our pre-show with Henny, just get ready for that. It's gonna get stupid. I guarantee it because I can see Henny's face now, and it's just
Yeah. If you,
it's not gonna be
if,
good. Let
look,
me tell
if
you.
you get lost in 150-940-935's eyes, that
It's
happens.
easy to do it. Yeah.
And that makes sense
So
if you're watching. And if not, probably doesn't make a lot of sense at all. And actually, I'm not
yeah,
even sure if that shows up on the video. So if not,
it
good
might.
luck figuring it out.
Yeah. But this is our inaugural video episode. It'll be on YouTube, TikTok, all that fun stuff. So go check it out if you're just listening to us in audio. Outside of that, boys, it's been a really, really crazy weekend, has it not? I mean, I feel like a billion different things in the sports world have happened.
Yeah, this is a great sports weekend. Hesse, I'm so glad you're joining us. It's going to be an easy one for you. It should just be like laying down a couple singles. You know what I mean? It's going to be easy to talk about because a lot happened, which is great for us. I'm excited that we're doing video for the first time. It's a new medium for us, so just bear with us if we make weird faces, have weird habits. I guess point them out. It's the only way we're going to learn. But we have like a whole new thing to tame here, and I'm excited that you're here for it. And yeah, we had a ton of stuff happen. So obviously we could talk NBA, we can talk golf. Not a golf podcast, but we can take this thing anywhere, man.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. I feel like, especially today on Father's Day, which, by the way, happy Father's Day, to all those fathers out there, or fathers. Is that what your fiance said on Instagram, Henny? I
I
think
don't know.
you're a
I I
father.
it's such stolen valor. Happy Father's Day to anybody who's a father. If you have a dog and you're like a good dog dad, that's great.
Yeah.
But
Hey,
happy Father's Day to
I
like real dads. Happy Father's Day, Dad.
yeah,
Dugan.
exactly. Yeah, I am a dad, so
One for
at
three.
least that's at least what I've been told. So no,
Yeah.
but I feel like today it definitely popped off the most, right? Like, I mean, we had U.S. Open end, we had the Bradley Beal trade, we had the Nations League Cup today. I mean, I feel like everything just chose to pop the hell off today. So again, like what Henny said, we're super, super happy to be joining you in video format today. Outside of that, boys, how was your weekends? Anything fun happen?
Hester, you got anything going on? I'll follow you.
I went to the Tucson Sugar Skulls game to watch zero defense being played.
Oh, sick. I've never been to one of those games. Are they pretty fun?
Yeah, it's fun. It's just if you expect defense, there's literally no defense, and it's really tight that the players use the bathroom that the fans get to use. So it's really weird to
No way.
go take a piss next to one of the football players, and then he sprints out to go back on the field.
Dude, that's incredible. Oh
I
my
like that.
god.
And for
Maybe I
those
even
that don't have context, because probably not everybody in the podcast follows the Sugar Skulls as closely as our boy Matthew here. That's an arena football team, and they're playing in what, Tucson Convention Center? Did I see that right?
Yeah, Tucson Convention Center, same place the Roadrunners play or Ice Cats used to play.
And your future
okay.
Coyotes,
Come on down, baby.
maybe.
Oh man, I if nobody else got that subtle joke that Henny just laid on us, that nobody knows that team better than Hesse, and it's because Hesse literally was standing at a urinal with a player. I just wanted to point that out because it was very like subtle, and it was just that was a good ass joke. So, goddamn, it's true. Nobody gets the team better than you do, Hesse. So that's awesome though, dude. How about you, Henny? I'm sure you went golfing this weekend.
Yeah, played Saturday. Um, so yeah, I played a little bit the other day, and then I'll be playing again tomorrow morning. Shout out Juneteenth. So happy Father's Day, happy Juneteenth as well.
Absolutely.
Happy to be celebrating that like in a more official capacity, probably for the first time. Not that it's not been talked about or hasn't been celebrated in the past, but at least from just so happens where we work, they do celebrate, so we'll be supporting. So I have the additional day off, as do you fellas. So shout out to everyone celebrating Juneteenth as well.
Absolutely. Where are you golfing tomorrow?
Just the old Randolph, just the old standby comfort track. We're teeing off around like 6 something in the morning, so we'll be getting up early, getting out there, and trying to beat the heat. So it's officially that time of year where you get caught out there midday. I mean, it's not for the weak.
No, dude, it's not. Oh my God. I feel like every time I step outside, it gets hotter and hotter. So I'm jealous though, man. That'll be fun. I am golfing next weekend. I'm gonna be golfing Star Pass, which just so happens to be the weekend you're out of town because of course it is.
Yeah,
We're
Star Pass is a
never
great
gonna
track
golf
though.
together again.
That
Yeah, but we're
quarterly
just never gonna
golf
again.
round.
Yeah,
I know.
you know, me and the Live, we only get 14 events a year, so I gotta make sure I use them wisely. For me, outside of Father's Day, I feel like I didn't do a whole lot. Just been hanging out with my daughter, so boring old dad life. That's me, baby. So whatever. Let's just jump into it though, guys. The U.S. Open. Rory did not shit the bed, or did he shit the bed? I don't know, Henny. You kind of came at me earlier today about it.
Well, I think for anybody so look, there's a certain type of person that's on the internet, and that certain type of person happens to lead this podcast off most days. There's a certain kind of person on the internet who's been drinking some weird Kool-Aid, man. They've been wearing the same Nikes, and they are following all the Live Tour guys, and now you're just like weirdly obsessed with Rory in a way that you all claim to not be. And I think you guys are sick, man. Like you're just sick. So Rory he shot even par today, which so did the leader and the guy that ultimately won. Sure, you could make the argument, yes, Rory's a bigger name. We hope that he wins, and whatever that means in terms of who hopes. Because I'm not really even like rooting for Rory, but I would be hard pressed to call this a choke job. He basically stood his ground today, played sort of the norm of what the course was willing to give today. And yeah, a putt could have rolled in, a putt could have rolled out, but you could question a shot as much on Thursday as any shot that he took today. So to me, just qualifying it as a choke job tells me you probably follow too many Live Tour accounts and you're really excited and giddy for all the wrong reasons, right? Like you're still excited for Halloween, but like you're 37. So it's maybe just chill out a little bit. The candy's not for you, dog. So that's really where I'm at with the Rory situation. It's not that he didn't win and he came in second. But I'll just say that I wasn't actively rooting against anybody, and like people still posting the Live stats, I still think it's kind of weird. Like 10% of the guys on Live Tour and 17% of them made the cut, and like, dude, you're sending your like whatever. Like, and I thought we were like, are we not all together? Is it not all the same now, or we're still doing like just? I'm basically just annoyed with golf Twitter right now. I'm just kind of grossed out by all of it. But we could talk about anything but Rory, unless of course, well, you're sick, so let's talk about Rory.
All right, and just for a general point of reference for the people out there, the reason this is being brought up is because I, on purpose, retweeted well, dude, what is the page? Is it like Live Golf?
I don't know. Live
Golf
live,
enthusiast, or
laugh,
like
live more. I don't know. Loudly.
yeah,
I'm
live,
not
laugh,
sure.
love,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, some Live like Twitter pages. I don't even actually follow. It's like one of those that just shows up. I think it's on, what is it? The
It's even
For You
worse. The
page.
algorithm knows what you
Yeah.
want, you sicko. It's even worse.
It's
You're not even
I
signing up.
that.
They're just like spoon feeding you poison now.
Dude, it's because I follow that dude we met at the Live Tour, like whatever.
Yeah,
that
drunk at the
page is.
turn. Yeah.
Yeah, drunk at the turn. So now it's just feeding me all his shit. Well, anyway, like I saw that tweet and it was like all about Rory choking, and I legitimately hit it and I was like, this is gonna piss John off. And what was it, dude? Like 2 hours later, I just get a random text in the group chat between you, me, and Hussey, just like, you sycophant, blah, blah,
I'm like,
blah,
well,
blah.
yeah, what's wrong with you, man?
I'm like
what's going on? I'm like,
guided
just
missile hit, baby.
do the TikTok dance. Do it, Dugan. I know you want to, you little trend following hooker. Come on. No, yeah, I just hope you're okay. If you're actually okay and you're just having fun with me, then
I honestly don't think
continue
Rory
to live your
blew it.
life.
I don't think he. Okay, he didn't not blow it. He didn't fuck up. How about that? Right?
Yeah, he didn't win. He's supposed to win, but like, there's
But
130 guys in this tournament, so it's just like
yeah,
that's where I go
but
like,
it's
all
a
right, yeah, like this is exactly like, oh man, like Suns lost to the Bucks, like they suck, and you know who sucks forever? The Suns. They suck. They're the worst team in the league, dude. They lost to Giannis in the finals. Oh, what a bunch of losers. It's that it gives me that vibes when Rory's not actually choking. When he's
no,
actively
yeah,
playing poorly and missing and shooting 7 over on Sunday when the rest of the field doesn't, open for discussion. I'm with you. I wouldn't, hey, look, did I throw any money on Rory today? Hell no. But,
yeah.
so
Nor
it
would
ended
you
where it
ever.
ended.
You've been very clear on that. You probably would never put money on Rory. So,
Mm,
no, it was
Not my
another
money.
instance of him going into the last day with a chance to win it, and he just can't do it. That's more where I'm coming from. I'm actually not actively rooting for him to shit his pants. Like, I'm with you. When it happens, hell yeah, I think it's hilarious. But I'm not going into like Sunday being like, man, I hope Rory really fucks up here. I will say Ricky Fowler did have a tough day, right? He had an incredible first day, and then he completely he shit the bed. That's who shit the bed, not
Yeah.
Rory.
Yep. He
Yeah.
had a very tough day, and credit to Clark. Clark played it, he did what he had to do. Basically, just kind of hung on today, which was the task, right? Was just to hang
Hmm.
on. And yeah, I mean, we just didn't see it from Ricky, which, I was texting buddies early in the week after he had the lead on Thursday, like, hey, what day does it happen? Is it like Friday, Saturday, or Sunday with Ricky? Because it's probably going to happen. So,
Yeah.
but, I mean, so do I do some dancing on some graves? Yeah, I probably do too, Dugan. So I should probably let you off the hook a little bit, but I'll just say that I'm not happily retweeting. I'm just
uh,
secretly like between us, like, save your money, dude.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, it was funny though, because like you and I were kind of texting back and forth on what was it, Thursday, and I was just like, "Holy shit, Ricky!" And you're like, "Yeah, like that's crazy." And I think we both said like, "Well, can he hold on to it? Can he do it again?"
Yeah.
And it was too it was just too easy. He's just done this kind of his whole career. He's never won a major, right? I don't think.
No, and the thing with golf, and it's kind of like what I alluded to with the NBA, like it's easier to bet against guys, right? So it's easy to
Yeah.
like sit on that side and like just be a hater all the time. Like, but what I kept
Hmm.
talking to you about was like, hey, Scotty's there, that guy makes you nervous, but it ends up being the surprise guy, which was cool. It was probably the least exciting thing that could have happened. I'm sure we'll learn more about Clark as this goes on, but
Hmm.
we all had to kind of like learn together, and it wasn't one of the traditional stories on a big U.S. Open weekend that you might want at LA Country Club and sort of all the things that could have been very exciting, which, still a good tournament and we still enjoyed it. But these things inevitably become more memorable if someone like Rory wins, if Ricky wins his first, if Scheffler continues his dominance. Any of those storylines, frankly, are more interesting than a new guy in Clark, but maybe Clark starts to begin his own new storyline. So maybe 2 years from now, we're talking about this win totally differently.
Yeah. Let's talk about the course though, really quick, because you and I, again, we were texting about just the tournament in general, kind of since Thursday. There are a lot of complaints about it. I think who were like some of the big guys complaining about it? I know Brooks was one of them. He said there was a lot of blind tee shots. He doesn't love that. And then who was the other guy that I sent you? Was it Hadwin or Hovland?
Dugan immediately is like, I saw some of the live guys were complaining. I don't follow the live guys. I'm just saying that I saw some of their comments. Did anybody from the tour say anything, or what's the deal? Is that still going on with the
uh,
tour? No.
I
So like,
swear to God.
Hovland had mentioned it in terms of course setup. It came to some of the other guys just in terms of like Matthew Fitzpatrick, I think mentioned it.
Hmm.
There
Yep.
were other guys that just, and there's a lot of people talking about, if you watched it, the crowd noise was a little low. You didn't see big crowds because of
Yeah.
the way they limited the tour event. And it was basically just a bad setup by the USGA in terms of the model, releasing minimal tickets, a lot of those tickets being corporate tickets. Corporate tickets aren't fun people, right? Those
No.
are people that are getting tickets because they're free and they want to go to the event and have the drinks and wear the hat and do all the things. That's cool. Not knocking anybody for getting free tickets and having a good time. That's great. But the diehards are the people that are in that general admission. That number was limited to 9,000. You spread that over 18 holes. That's really not a big number. Apparently, it
Nothing,
was kind
dude.
of a harder course to move around, a limited course in terms of getting numbers in there. So that all adds up to being kind of a womp womp in terms of venue environment.
Yeah. And yeah, it was definitely apparent. I think it's always tough to like go from some of these tournaments, like you see the Masters, you see a few of the others, and they have just like these huge crowds, and like they're fun. You think of the Waste Management, just a rowdy fucking crowd, but it's fun. And then you go to this, and it was just like, where is everybody, bro? Like, um, it
Did you
was
have the
weird.
volume up towards the end of that round, though? Either of you guys? Were you watching it all, Hess? And it's okay if you weren't, but I don't want to put you on the spot. Were you watching it all, Dugan, with volume up?
No, not today, dude. Not with the volume up. I was watching on my phone because my wife, she wanted to spend time with me on Father's Day. So weird,
Yeah,
I
which
know.
is no knock, and you can just have it in the background. Perfectly acceptable to put golf in the background. That's kind of,
Yeah,
I think,
dude.
how where it belongs. It's a baseball vibe.
Perfect,
Um,
perfect phone sport. You just have it on your
yeah,
phone, just
yeah, and you
looking
can
at it
like
every now
check
and
it,
then.
follow along. So yeah, no knock. But I will say the audio was picking up definitely a much hotter today, and even though it wasn't louder, like as loud as it was in Brookline, so in the Massachusetts area last year, what you did hear was a lot of very sarcastic, very like the comments that got in there. You're going to get some really good audio clips over the next couple days that are leaking through all the social media stuff, because there's definitely plenty of people just like letting people have it quite loudly that were leaking
Mhm.
into that stuff. So I still think the leaders fought every bit of the crowd, and hearing some pretty harsh commentary from the 7 or 8 guys that were being vocal. They were highly vocal, and I would consider them effective. It's not the things I would want to be hearing if I was missing putts around those greens. There were some pretty tough
Yeah.
critics out there.
Well, I look forward to having those leak out, dude, and you'll have to forward those over to me on the good old Twitter. But cool, man. Outside of that, what were some of your other thoughts on the tournament? I mean, anybody else that kind of impressed you or kind of shocked you how like poor they did?
No, I mean these things are just course to course, and it was an interesting course. It played a little different. We don't see a lot of like. There's obviously the West Coast swing, but this is a course that hasn't been played when James is talking right in 100 years or something.
Yeah.
So it was an interesting setup. You had. I'll just say this though, in terms of like the quality of the course, for anybody who's kind of complaining about that, as much as you might want to be critical of it, when you end up with Rory, Scheffler, Morikawa making a charge today, Cam Smith making a charge, Dustin Johnson in the top 10 and flirting with it. Like when you hear those names, I'm like, well, this is what you want.
Yeah.
These are the guys that you're trying to have rise as the cream of the crop, and they rose. So for me, it was just a good tournament with a bunch of good leaders, and we just never really had the drama because Clark was just steady enough today. Clark was steady enough. Rory kind of held just a stretch above the others, and
Yeah.
so we just didn't have 4 or 5 guys in play late. When it came to the back nine, it was really two. Rory hung in there, and Clark made just not an just he did just enough. So
Yeah.
it was just kind of like a low drama tournament, but it was a really good leaderboard. So it was strong. It was a strong tournament, strong field. I love the U.S. Open. I love U.S. Opens. So to me, it was just a good tournament with a good field and low drama, unfortunately.
Yeah. Perfect, man. What's the next big tournament that we need to be on the lookout for?
The Open. So we'll be talking the British, which to me is like such a like it's just such a different. Again, it's such a different game. Um, Obviously, the Euros are going to be more heavily involved. So you have to like lean as like someone know how to play these courses, but then there's like guys like Rory who seemingly play the U.S. game. He throws the ball very high up in the air. He's not like a link style player who keeps it low. So maybe this is the re-rise of Cam Smith of just like short game magic. Is Hovland get a run at it? So I think we'll see some different names, but man, we're probably killing people on the golf, and I'm chomping at the bit. I didn't put on this sun shirt for nothing, brother.
I know. I'm just staring here, looking at Hesse, and Hesse's like, "God damn it, these guys just keep talking about fucking golf." So let's jump into it, dude. Like, obviously, this wasn't anything that I was expecting. I mean, I saw like some rumors that it could happen. Like Bradley Beal to the Suns or to the Heat, maybe the Kings. But I was just like, nah. Like, I think somebody's throwing in our name just to throw in our name. And then I think the first real like kind of glimmer of hope I saw for this was when Gambo last night. Somebody tweeted at him and was like, "Hey, are these Bradley Beal's rumors true?" And usually he's the first person to just shoot it down. And he was like, "No, they're true." And I was like, "Holy shit, we might actually get Bradley Beal." And boys, we stole Bradley Beal, did we not?
For nothing.
I'm dying to hear from him. So just let the people hear from him.
I mean, I was just stoked to get rid of Shamit and upgrade.
Oh my god.
So I'll take that all day.
Hell yeah, dude. Like, I can't believe all it took was Shamit, like statistically one of the worst like playoff players ever, and
Top
then
10.
an aging Chris Paul. Like, and just a couple second round picks, a few pick swaps. Granted, we don't have like a pick for like the next decade, but who cares? Like, who freaking cares, boys? Like, that's all it took. And we still have DeAndre Ayton that we can trade for whatever we want, like some kind of bench if we want to keep him. I know Henny, that's your guy. Like, if you want to keep him, I get it, but he's still a son. So, what are your boys' thoughts like on the team going in next year?
I mean, first of all, like I just think it's like you guys mentioned, it's just crazy this happened. Like the
Yeah,
fact that we moved a 38-year-old Chris Paul who has not been able to finish a postseason and like stop, pause. Thank you, Chris Paul, for all the things you've done. We've talked about that multiple times on the pod, so I'm not gonna like go on about it forever. But then to continue to turn this asset, which Chris Paul is still apparently, like at least enough to the tune of whatever is, which is why, dude, like you're never in jail. Like you're never in jail. If you have people that want to win, you're just never out of this. There's always deals
yeah,
to be had, and like no, like this wasn't on our radar. We never talked about Bradley Beal at all. No thought of this. Like I don't think anybody in this group's ever brought it up, and we've thrown some pot. I mean, I've sent you simulations where LeBron James gets traded for Shamit and Chris Paul. Ha 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 ha. Then we got that deal for Bradley Beal, which was like not that far different. Like we actually got a younger
yeah,
guy, and he's not LeBron James by any means, but like we jokingly were like, what if we could move Chris Paul and Shamit for something? Like those numbers work in a salary for a super player. Why don't we just do that again? And then here we are doing it. So I know there's going to be all this like 4 and 5 years down the road. Like, are we putting ourselves in a bad place? But again, like you prove that if you want to win time and time again, then just reflip these guys. These guys are all moving. Russell Westbrook's been traded 7 times. Chris Paul's on his 19th team now or whatever. Like
yeah, dude.
all of this stuff can be moved. And so like I have nothing else but be excited. We turned 2 non-assets, as far as I was concerned, guys that I thought absolutely had to go from the roster one way or the other, and we turned them into an all-star. So we win. This is great, I guess. I obviously, and then to your point, we got to keep Ayton, which whether you actually keep Ayton or turn him into another trade asset is ridiculous. So I just
Yeah,
can't believe this
dude.
happened.
Did you see the tweet that I sent you earlier, Henny? That it was like I either sent it to you on Twitter or I sent it to the group chat. So you might have seen it too, Hesse. But it was like it was like this shitty point guard triumphant or whatever, and it's like
Yeah.
Wall, Westbrook, and Chris Paul. They've all played on the Rockets, the Wizards, and the Clippers now. Like, it's so funny, dude. It's so perfect, and but that goes to your point, right, Henny? Like you can flip these guys at any point. There's gonna be a team, no matter what, that wants to buy your shit, like because they're gonna be tanking. They need an expiring, whatever. There's always room for movement, and like that's why like I saw ESPN gave us like a D rating earlier, and I was like, how the shit do you give this a D rating when you moved a 38-year-old point guard and like one of the worst playoff players ever? Like Hesse, give me your thoughts, dude. Like I know you got him.
So, I mean, when you see the name, you're like, oh, this is really exciting. And we're going to get vet minimums just by having this trio, obviously. But I see the concern. Like, okay, who's going to be point? You can do point book all day.
Yes. Hell yeah, you do.
I mean, if you had to, that's what we ended up doing in the playoffs, anyways. Like we weren't
That's
trotting
true.
out campaign, and Chris Paul was already dead. So that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how this isn't a win. To give it a D is ridiculous. That is what is ridiculous. Is you
you
cannot give
know,
this a D. If you give this a D for 2027, that's fine. It's a better team right now than it was yesterday.
you know that
But
when
then
Chris Paul was out during the regular season, Devin Booker averaged 29 and 7 as point book. I'm just saying. I mean, what do you got to say about that, Hesse?
oh,
Yeah,
I'm just being a devil's advocate at this point. But my question, I just have a hard time with the people who are comparing this to when we signed. God, you're gonna have to help me out with this. Isaiah Thomas, Goran, and who was the
Dragic.
third point guard we had? Yeah, Goran
I
Bledsoe.
Dragic.
hope so, dog. Bledsoe.
Bledsoe, and we had Isaiah
Get me out of
Thomas.
here,
I don't want to be here anymore.
Eric. I don't want to be here, Bledsoe. Which
Oh,
all-time
I
tweet.
was at the barbershop.
Yeah. No, I think he said the hairdresser. It was even worse,
Oh,
dude. It
that's what
wasn't
it
even the
was.
barber shop.
Hairdresser.
It's just an all-time unbelievable like thing that somebody would say. Just the worst lie. No,
I'm excited
yeah.
about the Hooters squad assembling.
Yeah, that was like the sickest tweet that I sent you, right? Like
Yeah.
the fact that he's actually tweeted about Hooters. And I
How have
think
all
KD has
three of
too, right?
these
Yeah.
superstars all tweeted about Hooters and then now become a super team?
And then like the whole the callback to when was it, dude? Like 2017 when or 2018 when Booker was like, I don't want to go to a super team. I want the super team to come to me. Well, lo and behold, it's a Hooter super team, bro. Like if they all had like magic rings and they were just like the Hooters emblem, they
Yeah.
could all come together and form a super team. That's what this is. And then you have DeAndre Ayton just sitting in the corner like by
I
himself.
know. I
He's
know.
like that
Eating
verbal meme of
eating
like they
paint.
don't know that I'm here right now.
I know. And he's poor DeAndre. He's like, so what do you guys want me to do? Am I shooting threes now? And we're like, no, like why? Who said that? Whose idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's I don't know what to do with him, dude. Like honestly, like one of uh one of my friends today was like, well, Vogel was really like vocal that he really wanted to work with him and stuff. And I was like, well, dude, what else is Vogel supposed to say?
Right.
Like, he's kind of like the awkward thing in the corner. Like you kind of have to acknowledge him. But like I guess the market for DeAndre is as quiet as we thought it would be, right? We all kind of said it at the end of the year, like who's really going to want to touch this contract? He's getting paid 35 million a year, has obvious like confidence issues. Um
You were saying this
and
about the Chris Paul contract 2 weeks ago. Remember that? Everybody
yeah,
was.
but what I'm saying is I was definitely wrong about Chris Paul. I haven't been proven wrong on DeAndre Ayton. Because already there's been plenty of teams that have like Gambo's come out and said that the Trailblazers are not interested. The Raptors are not interested. Like, who the fuck is interested in DeAndre Ayton then? Like, I can't think of a team out there that would really, really want DA. I mean, the fact that the Wizards wanted a 38-year-old Chris Paul instead of him when they could have had one or the other, like, blows my mind.
Yeah, it basically tells you cap relief was more interesting to them than DA, but the Wizards are lost at sea. Like that was just a
Yeah.
weird perfect storm situation. And that's like frankly that's probably what you're looking for with DA too, and maybe that doesn't come till I mean, I've kind of said this before the Beal deal that maybe they are playing this out till the All-Star break to see what DA looks like in the fold, like kind of again, whether this was with Beal or not, and then just sort of rebuilding his value too. Because I think some of the stink on him is playoff stink, and then I think he goes out there and sort of does 20 and 10 on some nights, and you're like, oh yeah, he's got potential, and he's still 24, and then you see what the deal, what the market is as teams decide that they want to tank or not tank. So I don't know. You might just have to play the market with him. The DA thing's interesting though. I mean, I definitely thought we would still be talking about keeping him as a piece, but now with these three guys and talking about like where the cap goes, you think he has to be moved for multiple pieces now. Like I think it seems really untenable with him on the roster for
Yeah.
multiple years moving forward. So I'm with you that we're finally. I mean, all we had to do is trade for Katie and Beal to get the rocks in motion or whatever here to get Da. But I don't know. I think he's got to go. You're probably right.
Like, where do you think would be like the best trades for him?
Hesse, throw something in the trade machine, quick, fire.
I know Hesse's thought about this, bro.
Ayton for Dame, straight up.
Yeah,
For
I know.
Dame,
Yeah, let's just
complete
keep
it.
throwing it. Yeah, because you know what? Honestly, since it worked for Beal, why not ask for Dame and then just see if we can't get Aiton for some other suit? Like maybe Luka's available. Like I mean, there's some people that are making the case that Luka actually should be traded. This is his highest that point of value, and if you could bring back Da for him, Dallas, I mean, who says no?
I will say that the NBA community is pretty pissed off that the Wizards accepted this trade because it makes no sense. Like even though people thought the Brad Beal trade was or not trade but contract was like a bad contract, which why would that be a bad contract, by the way? The dude's averaging like 27 points a game. Yeah, 45 mil is a lot, but like, and he doesn't have the best injury history, but like, the dude's a certified bucket. Like, I mean, him and Booker's game is very similar. So if you like Booker, then I don't get why that would be a bad thing. But again, we got him for nothing. Like, and I guess the rest of the NBA community is just pissed off at that. There's been scouts and GMs that have actually come out and said, like, I don't understand why the Wizards would ever accept that, and why they didn't just do like what the Nets did with KD and just draw it out and try to get the absolute most when a team is going to be desperate enough to give you the most. It was weird, really, really weird trade, but
I
I love
You sure? Are we sure the Wizards weren't just like sort of making do for other poor franchise? Like the Timberwolves reset the market with the dumbest trade ever, like the literal dumbest trade ever. And maybe the Wizards were just like, yeah, that was too far. Don't worry. As like one of these lower tier teams, we'll just step up and sort of recorrect the market here and get us back to par. Like
It's like a
just maybe that just
seesaw,
needed to
dude.
happen. Yeah, like it was just they saw like how dumb the Gobert trade was, and they're like, nobody's worth that. We'll just, you know what, just send a second rounder and Chris Paul. It's fine.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
love it, dude.
It's a weird deal.
How do you feel like he's going to fit on the team?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I think it's really interesting. Like, obviously, he's a third piece, but it is to Hesse's point. Like, so playing Hesse's devil advocate, he's right. Like, we still like, are you going to just let these guys facilitate the offense all the time? Do you still want a pure point guard at some point? There's some interesting stuff, man. I don't know.
Hussey, what do you think? Where do you think he fits?
I mean, he scores more, so it gives us more threats down there. But like, I'm just curious to see what the rest of the roster shakes out. Aiton, does he stay? Does he go? Do we get more pieces? Who do we get as a vet minimum? Because I mean, we can get. I know players are join us just because of the roster we have, so we're going to have people there. It's just I'm just curious to see what happens the next month, especially after the draft.
Yeah, I think typical James Jones, we're not going to be involved in this draft once again. Just goes back to what I said earlier. James Jones can make a hell of a trade, but he ain't going to draft nobody, and he's not going to do really any kind of scouting. So,
How do you see
uh,
this roster? Does this like work for you, Dugan? Like, does this? I mean, because obviously we're excited because we traded and we got a better asset, so we're excited about
mhm.
like the possibility. But I'm going to tell you that I don't watch Wizards basketball. They're like
Yeah,
not on ever, and they're not. So, I mean, I just feel like I'm guilty of not even watching that much Beal basketball in the last couple years.
no, yeah, I love it. But I only love it because of what we already have. You know what I mean? Like Devin Booker can definitely play like that combo guard, point guard kind of hybrid role. Definitely can facilitate. And then with the way this offense is already, anyway, Kevin Durant brings up the ball 50% of the time anyway. I think the need for like a traditional point guard was kind of lost post KD trade because you wanted the ball in both of those guys' hands more than anything. And then obviously, what really hurt us in the playoffs was the fact anytime we did swing the ball over to somebody like Chris Paul, he couldn't hit a shot, right? Like he could not hit a 3-point shot. He had lost a lot in his legs. He was missing a lot of those middies that he would hit normally anyway. And Bradley Beal, I think he averages like 43% on catch and shoot threes. Like incredible 3-point shooter. Um, Another guy that can probably bring up the ball quite a bit too. So now you have 3 ball handlers. I mean, do you really need a point guard at that point? They all average, I think, over 4 assists a game too. So um, I just think the need for a traditional point guard is just not there anymore. And the NBA as a whole, I mean, if you look at the NBA overall, like most of these guys are not Chris Paul point guards. That Chris Paul 2000 style point guard, it's kind of gone the way of everything else. It's just not there. And you need that kind of diamondism like from your guard positions that they can do both. And I think going into next season, as long as everybody can stay healthy, I don't know how you defend this team. I know we said that when we traded for KD, And we were kind of wrong because I don't think any of us anticipated, number one, the KD injury, and then also like Chris Paul just fucking turning into dust, even though we should have known that was going to happen. But now, like, I mean, it rings even more true. Like, how do you defend this team if everybody's healthy? You can't double Booker, you can't double KD because then Booker's open, then Brad Beal is open, then you can't double Bradley Beal because then those two freaking monsters are out there. It's literally like it's literally a three-headed monster, like probably more so than we've seen in the NBA in a while. All three of those guys can go for 50 on any given night. It's insane. I hope that answered it.
It does. I was just going to give Hesse a chance to chime in if he wanted to too, but no, I'm with you. I mean, I just think more talent is better. When in doubt, acquire talent and then try to figure it out from there. And then if you find out, it doesn't work together, then you have talent and you figure out how to move those pieces. And if you turn one of those guys into, again, like we're talking with the Ayton trade, 3 others, then so be it. Like, then you address that at that point. But I'm with you. Just give me 3 dudes that can score, that can handle the ball, and we'll figure it out after that.
I think what Hesse said rings really true too, though. Like, it's going to be very dependent on like the vet minimum guys that we get, who we fill the bench with, because you cannot run into the same situation as you did the last playoffs, where you have nobody off the bench. Like and I think Hesse, you're right. Like they're going to attract some of those guys that you never thought you could get on a vet minimum before because that's just what they want to take. I don't know who those guys would be off the top of my head. Maybe you know a few of them, but they have to do that. They have to get value in an Ayton trade, and they have to fill out the roster because these 3 guys alone average 80 points a game. So you get what 30 more points from your bench, you're good to go. So I don't know. I'm excited. Season can't get here quick enough. Now that we've made our big move, like I have nothing else to look forward to in this offseason. Unless we pull off Dame like Hesse said, then I'll just shit my pants. So that'll be fantastic.
Save it for the pod.
Awesome. Yeah,
love to see your face while you shit your pants. Be good for the video. Good for the video.
Now we're doing video. You better watch what you ask for, Buckaroo. Let me tell you. All right, Hesse. We had some footy happen today, didn't we? John, you can sit this one out. You can how Hesse was with golf, just right there, bud. All right. We had some footy this whole weekend. Talk me through it, man.
We did. Well, I mean, I guess we should start with Thursday with USA versus Mexico, should we not?
Yeah, for some reason I felt like that was Saturday, but it's just because it was so much of a giant fucking game that it felt like not that long ago.
Yeah, USA versus Mexico, obviously a huge rivalry all the time, but we beat the pants off of them and also started a whole brawl. The fans almost got kicked out of the stadium. The whole stadium almost burned down. It was nuts.
Yeah, Henny's over here like making like weird faces, but Henny, if there's ever a game that you should have watched, it should have been this one. Because there were 4 red cards, so 4 guys got thrown out of the game. There were Hesse, 2 giant brawls where one guy got his jersey entirely ripped in half.
Yeah, Weston McKennie's whole jersey got ripped in half. What wasn't there, like 8 yellow cards?
Yeah, something like that. There were literally 9 guys on the field at one point. It was insane. But we beat like you said, we beat the brakes off Mexico, who is our biggest rival. Absolutely. They used to kick our ass. We had a moment, like it kind of goes back and forth, but we've been kind of kicking their ass a lot lately. And it's never been more apparent that the US has taken such a big step ahead, and Mexico is just, they have not. They've taken a few steps back. They do not have the guys like the US does. The US added Faloran Balogun, who obviously is a Arsenal kid, was an English national, and in true American fashion, we turn them around and turn them into Americans, just like we did with half our roster. Yep, thank you, American imperialism. We love it. Our whole roster is built off of it. So we have him. Yunus Musa played really well. McKinney played really well in that game until he got into the scruffle. John, you didn't watch, but this guy literally, one of the blogging guy got his like leg taken out by a Mexican player, and like one of our players named Weston McKinney went up and tried to like defend him, and the whole Mexican bench just converged on him and was like trying to choke him out and stuff. And he got thrown out because he pushed back. So got his whole jersey taken off. He kissed the badge. It was beautiful. It was a great moment in American history. It's right up there with like us crossing the Delaware, stuff like that. It was great. But Mexico couldn't hang whatsoever. Way too much firepower. Gio Reyna looked really good. Christian Pulisic, where the hell were you for Chelsea, my man? My God. Like scoring 2 goals and just kicking ass. And you couldn't do that at all in the Premier League. Man, like I don't know. I don't even know what to think about him going into this transfer season, but like he looked incredible. The defense looked incredible. Mexico didn't stand a chance, and like you said, Hesse, it was a gross game. Between the fighting, the fans throwing beer at players, like the puto chant, like them having to stop the game because they literally wouldn't stop doing that chant. Like it was just a disgusting game.
Where was the game played?
In Vegas, and that's why it was like that.
Yeah, okay. Well, that explains a lot.
That tracks.
That's all I needed to hear. I was like, I'll tap right back out. I just want to check in. That makes sense.
So a fun fact, Henny, because I know you don't watch soccer, but Team USA like low key stopped playing games on the West Coast for like 10 years because every time they would play Mexico in Glendale or in LA or Vegas, like they would have no home field advantage and like this kind of shit would happen. So they literally played like every US Mexico game in Columbus, Ohio. Yes, the furthest thing away from Mexico. So shit like this wouldn't happen. And then they moved it back to Vegas for the Nations League. And it was, I mean, lasers in the eyes, all kinds of just nasty shit going on. But the US prevailed. So, Hesse, what were your thoughts on that game, dude?
I mean, it was incredible to see that huge of a win, that much of a train wreck of a game. But I mean, then it was just overshadowed with, I'm sure we'll get to that other news that popped off mid game.
Yeah. You want me to just bring it up? I mean, yeah,
Let's just
Triple
go
G's
into that.
back, baby. Greg
Yeah,
Berhalter
fire the
takes a
coach.
6-month hiatus and wins his job back. So, again, for our listeners that aren't familiar, right after the World Cup, the coach of the U.S. team, Greg Berhalter, there was a rumor that floated out from Gio Reyna's parents. Yes, one of our star players' parents, who was unhappy with the amount of playing time his son was getting. They put out a rumor that Greg Berhalter had kicked his wife, girlfriend at the time, in a dispute when they were like 19 years old. This was like 30 years ago. Um, Greg Berhalter is since married to the same woman, happily married. They've completely moved on. But the Reyna family completely tried to drag his name through the mud. And the U.S. decided to not bring him back, the U.S. Federation. So they decided they were going to go out and interview. What did they say, Hesse? Like 11, 12 candidates. Like they had like a whole
Pep,
thing
Pep,
going on. Yeah, they had
Pep was
Pep
out there.
Guardiola,
We
Jose
interviewed, was it Vieira?
Mourinho,
We interviewed
yeah,
Vieira from Crystal Palace.
Patrice
Uh,
Vieira, yep,
Jesse, I'm not even going to
Jesse
say his last
Marsh,
name because I just can't. I did
yeah,
not want him either. But I mean,
Harbaugh
if it
Jesse
rumors.
was
Marsh.
Greg, but if it was Greg, but if
Tip.
I mean, if it's Greg Berhalter or him, I mean, I don't know who I'd take.
Yeah, but they decided that whole process was going to take 6 months, and then they were just going to fall back on Greg Berhalter. Really disappointing because like that's 6 months that we'll just never get back with development of the team, and all that stuff, and then also just the simple fact that um, I don't think he was a great coach. Like couldn't make in-game adjustments, substitutions were off. Got out coached by the Netherlands. I mean, he got absolutely just depanced. Like the Netherlands destroyed him. And I just think we've hit a ceiling with him, and we weren't going to ever get any better. But the federation disagrees with me, disagrees with you, and they decided to go with Triple G. So I guess we're stuck with him. But that didn't stop the boys tonight, right? We played Canada, those bastards from the north, for the gold today, and we scored within like 12 minutes. It was incredible. Gio Reyna to Chris Richards on a header on a
Center
set
back.
piece. Yeah, good old center back for Crystal Palace. And then Faloran Balogun scored. When did he score? Like 30 something minutes in,
35th minute, I think.
with another assist from Gio Reyna. So Gio Reyna seems very undeterred that Triple G is his coach again. So US wins 2-0. This is the third year in a row that they've won this tournament. They are undisputed kings of soccer, and Henny should definitely start watching.
Undisputed Kings. What did we win?
We won the Nations League, which is just another CONCACAF Cup. It goes towards qualifying for the World Cup in 4 years that we've already qualified because we're hosts. But
So we beat like what? Canada, Mexico, Central America?
Yeah,
Caribbean.
Yeah, CONCACAF is in the Caribbean.
Oh yeah, stick it to the Caribbean. Yeah, nice.
Hey, Jamaica used to be pretty good back in the day, my man. All right, Trinidad. Yeah, but it's basically Mexico, Canada. I mean, you're completely right. You know, it is what it is. Panama played Canada, he played Canada. They got trounced. So, it's still, hey, a win's a win. We have another tournament in what, a week, Hesse?
Yeah, I
I
don't know
think
too much about that
the
one.
Gold Cup. Yeah, we have the Gold Cup.
I don't know who we're playing or
Um,
anything.
Yeah, Gio Reyna did get hurt tonight. He was hobbling around. A few other people got hurt. So hopefully those guys are good to go. But I think that's enough soccer talk. Henny looks like he's gonna just fucking die if we keep talking about
I'm
soccer.
hanging in there, man. I'm here. I'm here to support you guys, dude. If you guys want to nerd out for a little bit and kick the footy around or whatever you guys say, that's cool,
Well,
man. I'm not here to pick on you. Just
Kick
trying
the
to
footy
learn.
around. You called it kickball in the group chat earlier, bud.
Yeah, I thought that was a good burn though. That was a sick burn. I thought kickball was pretty good. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't call it that, but I think I nailed it. I mean, look, you got me. You started winding it up with the Rory stuff, dude, and I'm not even like. I'm only on this podcast. Am I in a position where I'm just defending Rory for no reason, like by nothing? There's no reason for me to defend Rory, but you as a fellow Irishman to take him on personally, I just hate to see this side of you.
He's not Irish. He's Northern Irish. It's different. I've gone over this extensively on this podcast.
Doesn't that mean he's like the good kind? Isn't that the one we like?
No, dude, that's the
We're-
one that like
I thought
they literally like gave in to the queen, bro. They literally gave into the fucking crown. They gave up the island, dude, and like that's why we have the IRA, right? Like they literally want to take away their freedoms. Like, am I wrong? Like we're going to Ireland in 2 months, Hesse. You'll see. All right, we're both not going to Belfast for a reason. Okay, I told you it was because the trip looked like it sucked, but it's because I don't want to go see those bastards. All right.
you saw when Ireland fans found out the Queen died and they started singing "Lizzie's in a Box."
Yeah.
Yeah, like and what side do they fall on? Do you think their team Rory?
No, dude. People in Ireland don't
I don't know
like
what's going
Rory.
on. I don't. Yeah,
They,
I'm not sure I follow anymore.
he's from Northern Ireland. It's different, okay? It's different.
Okay.
And I get it. All the people from Ireland that are going to watch this are going to be like, this stupid American is speaking for us, but
Yeah, let's get
I'm
in.
right here, guys. I'm right
Yeah.
here.
These guys have been on
All
video
right.
1 week and now they're talking geopolitics. I'm like, yeah, we decided to take it on. If you could
All right,
point, and you do
anyway.
have a globe back there, which is helpful. Could be useful
Yeah.
for future podcasts.
Northern Ireland, right?
Yeah, but
Right.
yeah, that's right.
All right. Anyway, speaking of protest, I don't know. We're even saying protest. I mean, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
I think there's been a long-standing protest in Ireland for a while. But the Oakland A's, they're protesting silently, not silently.
Reverse boycott.
Reverse
It's where they
boycott. That's the
it's
word.
where they stop not going to the games and they actually show up for the first time.
Yeah, I think they should have reverse boycotted a while ago. I think they wouldn't be in this scenario if they reverse boycotted a while ago.
No, this ownership group was determined to bring it. They've brought the fans to the point where they're in reverse boycott. They're making up things now because like they have no other ways to express themselves other than to make up something that I've never seen before. Has anybody else seen a reverse boycott before?
Never.
Major League.
Yeah, this is Major League. Like that's the only thing I can compare it to is like they actually went full Major League on their ownership, which I thought was awesome. That was like a electric fun night in Oakland where they're chanting "Sell the team" to open the game, and then they win
Yeah.
their seventh in a row, Hesse, to get themselves like tied, so they don't have the worst record as at least a standalone. They might have fallen back since. I got to say, I kind of got wrapped up into the reverse boycott, and I'm not actually following the Oakland Athletics, but it was a good night. It was a good night. We enjoyed it. They made it, they made Twitter fun for a night and made it fun around baseball. So I feel bad for A's fans, man. I have a long-standing A's fan he's been an A's fan this entire time. He still stands by them. They have the best uniforms in baseball, by the way. That's a
Sick
different
logo.
topic.
Yeah.
Best uniforms in baseball for my money. And it just stinks if they end up in Las Vegas too. I mean, so be it if that's what happens. But the reverse protest or the reverse boycott, excuse me, was freaking awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be weird with them moving to Vegas. Are they going to keep those uniforms, you think?
They have to. Those are timeless,
I mean,
and they have
green and
nothing
yellow,
else.
yeah. I think they had them when they were in Philly, like because they were the Philadelphia Athletics before. I hope they keep them. Like I agree with you. I've always been a huge fan of like the A's, just like whole, like aesthetic. You know what I mean? I hope
Yeah.
that they have an equally shitty stadium in Vegas because that's always been fun too. You know, so
Yeah, the best things that
Have
come
you
out of the Oakland
seen
thing is like the live possum and all that stuff. And I'm sure Hesse's probably got 5 more stories.
have you seen the stadium that they're building in Vegas?
it's probably so over the top.
So yeah, it's like over $1 billion, but like it's covered for between the foul poles and then center field, like outfield bleachers, no coverage at all. So those people are just gonna sweat and die watching in the bleachers.
It's like San Diego State all over again.
Have we not
Yeah, except
learned?
Vegas.
Yeah, except Vegas is like 30 degrees hotter. Yeah.
Way hotter. People in San Diego almost died being left out in the sun. Those are some
Yeah,
of the
what
most
are
tragic
people
photos of the
doing?
year. Times Photo of the Year nominee for the San Diego fans who forgot to bring water
Yeah.
and a hat.
Meanwhile, all the Arizona fans were like,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah. Just in swimsuits baking out there
Yeah.
at spring training.
Yeah.
Learn to live like us. Fry yourself.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's crazy though. I can't believe they're actually leaving. Because I can't think of them being in anywhere else. You know what I mean? But then again, I couldn't think of the Raiders being anywhere but Oakland, and they've been in Vegas for 2 years, and that seems still very weird. So I don't know. It's weird. Good on the fans, I guess, for reverse boycotting. It's still a weird look though. I don't know. I still don't get it.
That doesn't make any sense at all, but it's funny. I don't know. Yeah, like it literally makes no sense. It doesn't, and clearly it's
Whatsoever.
not working. But it was fun.
Yeah,
Well, did you see the
sure.
TV coverage of it? They were showing TV coverage
Yeah,
from like other games because they didn't want to show the fans with their signs that said "Sell the
yeah,
team."
yeah. They couldn't find like one normal shot of someone not acting out of like deprived, like just complete, just chaos. Like no, yeah, nobody was acting normal. It was that. Yeah, you're right, dude. That was awesome. I'm so glad you brought that up. Just
Yeah.
full coverage of just fake bullshit fans of like AI, like there's a bunch of fans 15099404935s out there.
Yeah, your kinfolk.
Yeah, that's all the other bots are
uh,
out there, dude, just living it up.
dude, were they doing like the whole COVID thing? Remember during COVID with like the NBA games, they would have people that were like us. They were watching games like this, and they would have them all in the stands. It was the most awkward shit in the world.
No, man, yeah, and then it was like random nights where like there was some pseudo celebrity on the fan cam watching, so kind of like what we're doing tonight, but it would be like DJ
Yeah,
Khaled being like, "Go Heat," and they just like show that, and you're like, I guess.
Sign me
I don't
up,
know.
dude.
This is so weird.
Sign me up,
Oh
DJ
yeah,
Khaled.
we know you're in, buddy. Hook, line, and sinker on the DJ Khaled media train.
Listen, bro, I've seen him in concert. It was a great time. All right. DJ Khaled, low key a decent golfer though, huh?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. This is like the DJ Khaled train for
Is
like
this your
telling me
hell?
he's a good golf. Yeah, basically someone telling me like I don't know, dude. I think Trump and Khaled would give you a hard time in a scramble is my nightmare conversation that I do not want to have. It's an absolutely most triggering thing that could possibly happen. Is like someone explaining to me that they're good at golf because they have money and that they don't have to take care of their body one iota and apparently can just play championship level golf on Instagram or whatever. Yeah.
How many takes do you think it takes DJ Khaled to get the videos he puts out there?
I think he does. I'm sure that guy's putting a lot of film, and I mean, honestly, like how many really good shots of DJ Khaled are out there? I mean, I know he's like making a couple putts, but I have yet to see like a swing where it. I mean, he hit 125 yards straight with a driver. I mean, Dugan, you're not impressed.
Oh no, man. There's days I wish I could do that. At least the straight part. You know
Straight's
what I
nice.
mean?
Straight's nice, but he's got an old
Yeah.
man's game. He's got kind of a grandpa's
Yeah,
game, I think.
yeah, for sure. Who do you think would win in a match though? Because I heard this on one of our favorite podcasts on macrodosing. Trump or Barack Obama in a game of golf.
Yeah. So this is where it's tricky. Like Trump's obviously a good cheater. Like the fact that he even has people signing off on statements that there what like it was a hole in one and all this like weird
Yeah.
stuff.
That shit was the
Look, on a golf
funniest shit
course,
ever, bro.
yeah, like on a golf course, people can write the score they want. They can take the score they want. There can be a lot of bending of the rules, and honestly, I don't really care, right? It's like your card. Like you write down whatever you want. So I'm not big on policing the game. That's not my job. I'm not one of those people calling into the U.S. Open to talk about if a ball moved. Not my business, dude. Um, but Barack's got to be a better athlete. But if he's a better golfer, I don't know. I mean, golf takes reps, and athlete doesn't necessarily equate to golf every single time. I see some quirky dudes out there
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure would be picked last on the kickball team that are pretty decent golfers.
Yeah. You got a valid point. That shit was hilarious though when Trump got the hole in one and he literally put out a media release.
Yeah,
About
all
his
time
hole
move.
in one. Like we all wish we could do that. Like,
Yeah,
have you ever gotten a hole in one, Henny?
no, no hole in ones, but I mean, yeah, if I wish I could release release a press statement every time I had an eagle. I mean, I would just love to put that out. Like maybe I'll just start doing that on our Twitter account. Like I would like to
Yeah, I was
announce
going to tell
today,
you that.
and
Please feel
I need like
free.
several people to co-sign pictures, have people signing off, have it maybe like get a notary
Well,
out there.
the next time you get an eagle, like send me a shot with you and your ball, and I'll throw it on the Instagram for you.
I'll
You
have
know?
to. My one buddy does have a me pulling a video pulling the ball out of the hole on an eagle. So I'll see if I can get it up there. I will.
Okay, yeah, we'll throw it on the Instagram just for the people. You know, what do you think, Hesse? I mean, you think that'd be good content? Just
Oh
John
yeah.
golf memes. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just John golfing all day. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, there's got to be 3 to
I
4
mean, all
people
those
that are
all those
super interested.
all
We
those
got to
golf
get
accounts on Instagram are amazing. So, I just saw one
we got to
today
get
where
him
some
a
guy's cart was set on fire.
shank it
That's
golf polo though. If we're gonna start putting him on the Instagram.
Yeah, most of the golf content that does get out there, to Hesse's point, is I think pretty much what you described at the scene at the soccer game. So it's mostly like people trying to break carts, light things on fire, slamming a half a bottle of Fireball, falling on their head, and then occasionally there's someone taking a nice swing and hitting a golf ball.
And that's just the stuff that gets to you, Hesse.
Yeah,
Imagine
Yeah.
you should
Yeah.
see our group
My
chat.
algorithm is wild.
Yo, Hesse, real quick, did you see the video of the chick at the Mexico game where there were like these two dudes like beefing and they were like swinging on each other and the girl tried to break it up and the guy pushed her out of the way and then she came up and put him in a freaking headlock and like literally knocked him out. Did you see that?
Dude, I think I sent that to you, or maybe you sent it to me, but that was
Okay.
wild.
Dude, I'm telling you,
Because
that game, that was not a soccer game. That was a fucking war zone, dude.
well, and that's why they don't play on the West Coast. That's why they play in Can I
I
say
don't know
this?
whose bright idea
White ass
was
Columbus,
number
Ohio.
one. I don't know whose idea it was to number one put it. If you're going to put on the West Coast, why Vegas? Like that's just asking for trouble.
Let's get
Like
wild
everybody's already blitzed out of their mind anyway.
Yeah, for
because we're
those of you
talking
that
about it right
maybe,
now
yeah,
on
I
a
was gonna say
golf
if you haven't
podcast.
been to something on the into Vegas, right? Like I remember going my first time to watch like a U of A event in Las Vegas and walking into the basketball arena, the pit there or whatever, and like walking in through the general admission and immediately in front of you is a full bar, and I was like, wait, what is going on here? This is a college basketball game, and I can get a double tall Jack and Coke before I even like 10 seconds into admission, like there's a line, or I can get like a 78-ounce beer. Vegas is wild. I mean, which I think you guys all probably already know, but it all checks out.
Yeah, Henny, big Vegas guy. He loves it. And to be honest, my favorite stories are Henny Vegas stories. So, what's your alter ego out there?
It's Wayne Sheridan, but I mean, really shouldn't be putting it out in the public like this. I mean, now I have to come up with a new alias for my alias.
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure, all our listeners are going to snitch on you right now. They're calling the MGM Grand as we speak.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, like again, the same 3 to 4 people that care about my Eagle video. I'll be all over that.
Yeah. Ah, man. All right, guys. Anything else out there that happened that was interesting that you guys want to go over? I think Henny was real hot to trot on the College World Series for some reason, but I tried to keep it out of the show.
I'll just say that if you're not following particular Twitter account, I wish I could remember the name of it. There's a bar there that's just keeping track of the amount of Jello shots taken by university, and LSU is alarmingly ahead of everyone else. I'll just say that. So I mean, I'm not saying you have to watch the College World Series, but if you want
Just
to watch
watch
that
that.
Jello shot counter, it's a real good indicator of what's going on and who's playing well. And much like Vegas, Louisiana State University was built for this.
Oh, hell yeah. You're absolutely right, man. Perfect, boys. You got anything, Hesse? Any parting words?
I mean, Mbappe.
Oh, you wanted to bait me in with that, bro? I thought we weren't going to talk transfer window. All right. Well, we got another hour, right? Right, Henny?
I don't care. I'm here for the soccer. I can learn.
Yeah, dude, killing Mbappe, that whole saga is crazy because Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Kylian Mbappe will not renew his contract. Therefore, PSG is saying, if you don't resign, we're gonna kick you to the curb. He is well, I guess you'd probably say Holland at this point, but arguably the best striker in the world. There's a lot of Real Madrid smoke, but their chairman came out today and said that they're not signing anybody else this summer. So who does that leave him to go to?
Man, you.
I was gonna say Man U. They did just get some new Qatari owners. Well, allegedly, it's not done yet, but they could, and they want to spend big. If he goes to Man U, I'm probably gonna just give up. I don't want to see it because they're also gonna get Mason Mount, and I'm gonna just hate my life for that too. So, yeah, man, I don't know. Chances are he probably just stays there, calls PSG's bluff, and then just walks next year. But
Well, I feel like this has been announced for years. Like every summer we talk about, oh, where's he going to go? Where's he going to go? And all of a sudden they're like, wait, what? You actually want to leave?
yeah,
It's like, well, you've done this for years. I mean, it's kind of like when Cleveland like set their town on fire because LeBron actually didn't want to stay in Cleveland.
the mistake by the lake, baby. Is that what Paris is now? Is that the mistake by the lake too? No, I mean, hey, it was no secret, right? Like, Messi left. By the way, Messi coming to Miami. We haven't even talked about that really. Coming to Inter Miami. They're looking at trying to get rid of Neymar. Neymar is probably going to go to Saudi Arabia. A bunch of guys leaving. I mean, what else is there really for Mbappe to like fight for? You know what I mean? Like they don't. They're going with a very young team. He's young as it is, but he's also incredibly good. I mean, he can go to a Man U, he can go to Real Madrid, he can go to, I mean, any team really. I would love to see him at Chelsea, but it's not going to happen. But it's going to be a very interesting summer to see where he goes. Absolutely.
Well, Chelsea is rumored with like every single player on the transfer market, so why not add one more?
It's fun to be a Chelsea fan. You know, when you got mad money, and then you also got the Saudis coming in. I look, apparently just all the things in my life lately are just impacted by Saudi Arabia. You know, live golf, PGA golf.
Yeah.
Now Chelsea is doing a lot of business with Saudi Arabia. They're trying to like funnel all their bad players into Saudi Arabia, launder the books that way. So just guess big Saudi guy over here, you know.
Don't you dare watch one of their games, or you're just going to get accused of something else.
Brother, I've already been accused of everything from our live content. I'm good. John's over here calling me a sycophant. So I mean, hey,
Yeah.
I'm here for it, baby.
Is this the biggest summer in French sports in quite some time? Mbappe and Wemby? I mean, that's pretty big for France.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they did just win the World Cup. Wait, no, they didn't. They lost in the World Cup. Holy shit, they lost to Argentina. So yeah, I guess this is their rebound summer. You know, it's their hot girl summer. They're trying to get over a bad breakup. So I don't know. I guess, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in the soccer world. We could talk about it for hours, but I mean, basically, like Messi going to Inter Miami, that's going to be crazy for the MLS. Mbappe potentially leaving. Saudi Arabia spending like $1 billion on players because they're trying to be like the new Super League. It's crazy, but we can definitely try to talk about that on another episode down the road. I think we need to have Mr. Hussey back on here and just talk exclusively soccer and make John sit through it all, make him learn, so he just wants to follow along with us and
Just show
starts
pictures of
following
the
the team.
kids and just let them cheer him on.
I
Just have
can
him
do
Yeah,
pick the
that. Yeah, I
kids.
can. I'm really strong uniform evaluator. That's really where my strength is. I think you heard it in the Oakland A's bit, but I mean that is really an area where I like to thrive. There's
we should do that actually. You know what we should do is we should bring up Premier League jerseys, and you don't really know who they are. You know what I mean? Like it's not
yeah, I'll be
soccer
like,
jerseys don't
yeah,
say like their name. We can just power rank them, you know. And with
yeah.
this, I can share my screen. So
You could do that, and then I would end up like one of those schedule release videos. Like, who do you think this is? And I'd be like, the Wisconsin Fireballs, and you're like, well, they're in Europe, and I'm like, all right, well, all right, yeah. So I think I'm basically one of the, you know what I'm talking about? Like, who did that release that was good? Jacksonville, Texans, Colts. I don't remember who it was, but basically
it
one of
was
those videos where I have
Titans.
no
yeah.
idea. Titans. There it is. Thank you, Hesse. That's why you're here.
Yeah, it's true. Let's actually plan that out, boys. I think the listeners would like that. We'll do a blind, test where I show you a jersey, you rank it 1 through 18, and then whoever's at number one, that can be your pseudo Premier League team. How about it?
I think I'm like a Chelsea fan. I think I'm with you. Like just from playing FIFA. Like when we did the video game ranking, I mean that's where Chelsea is because I was a
True.
Drogba guy. Big Ivory
Yep.
Coast fan.
You hear that, Hesse?
I want him to be a Nottingham Forest fan. I just love that. Or
Lil
Luton.
John, Lil John from Nottingham Forest. Yeah, Robin Hood joke. Sorry, it is what it is.
I gotcha. I picked it
All
up.
right, let's go, boys. We'll let the listeners get on with their merry weekend. Another Robin Hood joke. Anyway, all right. Don't forget to click subscribe. I know that's a shit
Delay.
joke.
I like the delay on the bad joke though. I mean, it wasn't a bad joke. I liked it. I was with you. I mean, East Bank, West Bank, whatever you want to do next. You want to go Men in Tights, we'll do it.
All right. Anyway, don't forget to click subscribe on Spotify or wherever you're listening. Leave a review, share it. Helps us out a lot. Also, please go ahead and subscribe on YouTube now that this is in video and you can see all our dumb faces making these dumb remarks. We're not just some random voice in your ears. You can actually watch us be stupid. So, and then also please follow on social media, Twitter. John is incredible on there. Instagram, Facebook, um, TikTok. We're on all of them. Feel free to give us a DM, give us ideas, what you like about the show, what you don't love, and then just continue to follow us. We appreciate everything you guys do. You boys have any other closing thoughts? Wow, John really taking advantage of the fact that they
Taking
can see
advantage
him
of video, just shaking the
by
head. I'm like,
shaking
that
his
works. I'm
head.
like, stay tuned, otherwise you'll never know how I feel.
All right, cool. Well, Hesse, thank you for joining us this week, man. It's always a pleasure when you're on, and we'll have to have you back on for the unofficial kit draft by Henny. So we'll talk to you guys. Have a great weekend. Bye.